The term Undisputed Champion in combat sports means you're unquestionably the best in your respective weight class. In a sport stacked with top contenders, there are always challengers for a champion. This is how the cycle usually works. A champion defends their belt indefinitely until they retire, lose to a challenger, vacate, or get stripped of it. In MMA, specifically the UFC, there is only one championship belt for each division. Whoever holds that belt is automatically considered the undisputed champion, unless of course two belts exist, when the interim belt is added. This happens when a champion is inactive and is temporarily unable to defend their belt. Usually this is due to medical reasons and sometimes other reasons. Subsequently, another belt is introduced in the same division. They call this belt the interim belt. It's basically a temporary championship that usually guarantees the holder next in line to face the real champion once he or she returns. Think of this belt as the #1 contender ticket. In this case, the once undisputed champion is no longer undisputed. There can't be two champions in one division. The interim title has often carried criticism and is also known as a fake belt by many, and very rarely does the public view the holder as a real champion. The interim champion and the original champion usually unify both their belts to determine an undisputed champion. Of course, like anything else, anomalies do exist, and in some cases the interim champion doesn't unify with the champion immediately or at all. There's been times when the interim champion has been promoted to the undisputed champion without actually unifying with the original champion. This was the case for Andrei Arlovski when Frank Mir was stripped by the UFC due to medical issues that caused his inactivity. The same occurred for Renan Barão when Dominic Cruz had no choice but to vacate his belt due to constant injuries. After winning the lightweight belt, Conor McGregor was stripped of his featherweight title. The UFC subsequently promoted Jose Aldo's interim to the undisputed title. Robert Whittaker was promoted the undisputed middleweight champion after George St. Pierre vacated his belt. In other circumstances, although very rare, interim champions can be stripped of their title. John Jones was set to unify his interim belt against Daniel Cormier. However, he was stripped and removed from the event due to a failed drug test. Both Tony Ferguson and Colby Covington were stripped of their interim belts due to injury. It's transparent that organizations implement interim titles to create a marketing buzz in hopes to generate sales, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially when an organization is trying to save an event that would otherwise fall out due to injuries or other circumstances. Above all, not only does the interim title signify the #1 undisputed challenger, but when implemented correctly, it's a way of rewarding the fighter filling in for the original champion who is inactive. I hope you guys enjoyed that video and learned something from it. If you did, please like the video and subscribe.